For 10 years, he walked through the same glass doors at exactly 8 a.m. He greeted the receptionist, poured himself a cup of coffee, and sat at the same desk every single day. Everyone in the office knew his name. Everyone assumed he worked there. But no one, not a single person, realized that he wasn't even on the payroll. The story takes place in a small Midwestern town, a quiet place, where everyone knew everyone, and the city hall was at the heart of it all. The man's name was Walter Briggs. He was in his late 50s when he first walked into the city hall building. A tall man, always dressed in a worn brown suit, carrying a small leather notebook under his arm. At first, people assumed Walter was a newly hired clerk. After all, he acted like an employee. He arrived on time, attended meetings, and even helped new staff find their way around the building. Walter's routine never changed. 8 a.m. Arrive at City Hall. 8:10 a.m. Pour a black coffee. 8:15 a.m. Sit at the third desk from the window. He worked quietly, reviewing documents, organizing papers, and sometimes just reading. Over time, employees stopped questioning why he was there. He became part of the background, like the ticking clock on the wall or the old filing cabinet in the corner. There was one strange thing, though. No one had ever seen Walter collect a paycheck. When city staff received their salaries, Walter never went to HR. When employee IDs were updated, Walter's badge somehow never changed. But in a small town, you don't question things too much. If someone shows up every day and causes no trouble, you let them be. 10 years passed. One rainy afternoon, a new employee named Emily Carter joined the administration team. Emily was fresh out of college, full of energy, and had been assigned to review the city's payroll archives as part of her training. As she went through the list of employees, she noticed something odd. There was no one named Walter Briggs on any of the payroll records, not in the current list, not in the archives from the last decade. Confused, she asked her supervisor, "Hey, where's Walter's file?" Her supervisor looked puzzled. "Walter Briggs? Of course he's in the system. Wait, hold on. Let me check." Minutes later, the supervisor returned, looking pale. "Emily, there's no record of him at all." Word spread quickly. The next morning, the mayor himself walked into the office where Walter was quietly reviewing a stack of papers. "Walter," the mayor began cautiously, "I need to ask, what exactly do you do here?" Walter looked up, slightly confused. "I just help out," he said softly. The mayor frowned. "But Walter, you're not on the payroll. You've never been officially employed here. Why have you been coming in every single day for 10 years? Walter paused for a long moment, then closed his notebook. Walter finally explained. 10 years earlier, his father, Henry Briggs, had been a janitor at City Hall for nearly 40 years. Henry was well loved by everyone, known for his humor and his dedication to the building. When Henry passed away, Walter felt a deep emptiness. The City Hall wasn't just a building. It was a part of his father's life, almost like a second home. So, Walter started coming in. At first, it was to check in on his father's old friends, help them with small tasks, and keep the place organized. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And before long, showing up at City Hall had simply become part of Walter's life. "I never wanted a paycheck," Walter said quietly. "I just wanted to make sure this place was taken care of, like my dad used to do." The mayor was stunned. The staff, once they heard the story, were speechless. Here was a man who had given 10 years of his life, not for money, not for recognition, but purely out of loyalty and love for a place his father cherished. News of Walter's story spread quickly through the town. People couldn't believe it. The following week, the city held a special council meeting. Walter was invited, though he didn't know why. In front of the entire staff and several townspeople, the mayor presented Walter with a framed certificate. "Honorary City Hall employee, in recognition of your dedication and service to the community." Alongside the certificate, the mayor announced that a plaque would be placed on Henry Briggs' old office door, in memory of Henry Briggs, and in honor of Walter Briggs, who continued his legacy. For the first time in a long time, Walter smiled. The next day, Walter returned to City Hall at exactly 8 a.m. He poured his coffee, sat at the third desk from the window, and quietly continued his work. This time, not as a mystery man, but as a recognized part of the City Hall family. And from that day on, everyone who walked through those glass doors knew exactly who Walter Briggs was.